Hi everyone, it's MJ from my paper journey. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. Um, this is okay. I forgot. Hi Frankie. Um, this is the booklet that I kind of just made myself for my purse. On my last video, I finished it, but I decided to make some other ones, but a little bit smaller because I think this came out to seven and a quarter by 4.5. So I decided to make a smaller one because I wasn't really thinking and I hadn't planned anything at that night that I made this. So just let me show you the finished, and also if you remember when I was making it, I said, oh, I didn't want to cover my bird. So that kind of, a light went on in my head. And I decided, how can I figure out if I want something here when I'm collaging, so that I can make sure that when this comes, the flap comes over, the intended focal point of my decoupage shows. So I'm going to show you a little trick, kind of like what I figured out, what I did. But anyways, I decided, I thought I was going to put a magnet, and decided I put this kind of elastic, and I bought this from a store on eBay a while back. I've had it for over a year ago, and now I'm got a chance to use it. So all I did, I sewed on, but you can't see because I cover it up with a little, I'll show you. So I just collaged some layers of lace and trim, and then this is part of a doily that I cut out, a piece, and then I added a little light brown rosette in the center of it. And then I put the elastic. I decided I didn't want to put the magnet, and also because I didn't know where I put them at. What's new? Anyway, so I didn't do anything else other, because I did go over and I used the distress ink. I use permanent ink, and I use the coffee from Rangers. Because then I used Liquitex, and I decided that I should put some kind of a protective seal, since I'm going to be putting this in my purse, in and out, wear and tear. I didn't want, sorry, my window's open, so whatever noise you hear is from outside. My neighbors are having a blast in their backyard, and my window faces the backyard. So anyways, I use Liquitex as a sealer, just in case any water may spill, and also wear and tear grabbing. I didn't want the images to wear off. Okay. And then on the inside, I decided I did stitch in the pages, and before I had put like an elastic or thread because I wasn't prepared, but I decided, no, I'm gonna stitch it in. If I ever run out, maybe I can just make me another booklet or add more pages, no problem. And then here's the envelope. I did finish decoupaging. It wasn't finished last time. And then I added, I don't know if on the last video if I had done this or not, I did a little flower and a little butterfly. This is a lace trim. And the envelope, I haven't put anything in there. And then in the back, I made a little fabric pocket and I added the hydrangea mulberry blooms. I just layered 2 different colors that kind of match the theme of what I picked, and then some lace. and this is just an old, it was a blouse that I got at the thrift store that I kind of cut up. And Frankie, I think I gave you some pieces of this, so you should have it in your stash that I took. And I did sew in the strap, but I covered the stitching with this little paper punch. And yeah, so that's all I did. I kept it really simple. So now you see the finished product. However, I think it's just a little bit too big. So if you want to get the measurements, oh, let me show you some other ones that I did decoupage, so that you'll understand what I mean about having the focal point. Like in this one here, my focal point was this gal right here, this gal, and that's what I wanted showing in the cover page. I didn't want to cover her like I did on this one, that I covered the face of my little birdie. Okay, this is my decoupaging. I'm not that great at it. Hopefully someday I'll get really good, but I did manage to figure out how I wanted my focal points, and then I'll give you the measurements of this size of this booklet. The overall size of this is 4 3/8 by 6 5/8. 4 3/8 is the width, 6 5/8 is the length, and I just rounded the corners here and on the inside as well. And then on this other one, the focal point was these birdies here. Decoupage this, and this is the center of it. Okay, and I'll show you how I did that for the measurements. And they're both they measure the same size. And then this is what I'm going to use for to put the pencil or pen in. And then this is what I'm going to use on this booklet. Put my pencil or pen in. And I made him a little bit wider than my original. Okay. So you're going to take the just a regular sheet, the standard 8.5 by 11. Okay. So you're going to get I'm gonna score this. I'm recording in a different angle, so anyways. Okay, you're going to take this, the full size is the whole length of your booklet. So I said it's 6 5/8. So 6 5/8 is right here. So I'm going to, now your paper can be any paper you want to use. I happen to be using a 28-pound coffee dyed 8.5 by 11 standard sheet. And then you can use this is going to be for my inside, so you can use whatever paper. If you want a color printed paper, then by all means print it. Okay, color it or whatever you want to do. Rubber stamp it or collage it as well if you want to. Okay, so I made a score at 6 5/8 because that's going to be the height of the booklet. Now this part that I just highlighted, that's going to be what I'm going to use for the pen holder. Okay, I don't know if you can see the score line lightly, and it doesn't matter. Okay, I mean, if it shows, don't worry about it. And then you're gonna flip this over horizontal, and then the first score is going to be at 4 1/4. And I'm going to just score up to where this score line here is. Okay, and then the gusset is going to be 1/8 of an inch, so then I need to move this to 4 3/8, because the little gusset is 1/8 of an inch. Oops, I went over, but that's okay. Don't worry about it, because we're going to decoupage over it. And then, so this is going to, this part here that I just scored is going to be this, this right here, this part, the top part. And then what I just scored right is the gusset on the inside, the first gusset. The next one is going to be, this was 4 1/4. Okay, so the next one that I didn't do on my first one, I needed to make this just 1/8 of an inch wider than my top cover. Okay, because on my other one, I'll show you what I mean. See, it was too close to so it kind of I don't know, it kind of bothered me. See, it's because I made both the front and the back the same width. So this time I made the front width 1/8 of an inch more narrow than the back. Because see how here you can see you don't hear the it doesn't hit the side of the flap. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay, so now we were at 4 3/8, and now this is going to be a 4 3/8. Instead of 4 1/4, it's going to be 4 3/8. So the next score line is going to be at 8 3/4. And then 8 7/8, and that's for the 1/8 of an inch gusset for the second gusset where it folds over. Now this remaining part, that's going to be the flap. Okay, but I maybe because of my vision, I was having a hard time as I was collaging, so I followed the score line, and then just approximately. It doesn't have to be precise. And I darkened it up with a pencil because when I was collaging, yes, hold on. Sorry guys. Okay guys, sorry about that, I'm back. So I went ahead and drew a line, and we don't need this. And just one line, because we know this is going to be the front. And then a line. I'm having a hard time seeing. That's the reason why I marked it with a pencil, so that I can see. I was kind of off here. Okay, so this is the flap, and this is the back, and this is the front. Okay, like this. So you're going to be working, but what I did is, maybe I should have done the other way around, huh? Okay. Sorry, I don't want to confuse you guys. So I told you I'm not very good at explaining. So this is what it is, okay? The front, this is the back, and this is the flap. So I did this, and this is going to be extra for the piece for the pen or pencil, whatever you want to use. Okay? So far, hope you guys are following me. So now that I know, you know, my sections, so then when I collage, I'll start like with a big piece, you know, and then I'll and what I did is well, actually I didn't put it here, but you know, I did the whole page. Okay, and then you just cut your pieces however you want. Okay, and then you do your collaging, and how, you know, however you want to do your collage, you know, whatever papers you're using. Since this is the front, let's see, okay, this is not my actual collage. This is just for visual, so that you know what I'm. And let's say I want to put this here. Oops. Okay. Let's put this over here. You get the gist of it, okay? So what I do is then this is the front right here. Okay, I'm just for demonstration purposes, so you'll know what I'm talking about. This is not the actual collaging, okay? Just so that you so you understand what I did on my original collage. Okay. I didn't collage the whole thing. So, okay, I have this right here. Okay, let's say I want this as my focal point. So I'll just tear around it. So most of this is going to be in the front. Oh, and also keep in mind the flap is going to be about an 1 3/4 or so. So then I kind of like do an imaginary line. So I want this to show. Maybe I'll move this a little bit over, so when I put the flap is on, like this one, see, it doesn't cover what I intend to show on the front as my focal point. So maybe I'll move this a little bit. See, where is this line? Okay, we're okay. So now so that's what I did. that's how these came about. Okay, and then you just do fill in your rest of your page and whatever. But so then after you decoupage it, of course, you let it dry. One thing is you want to remember up here, it's going to be your leftover. So what I did after it dried up, here, well, after you decoupage it, you'll be able to see on the back your score lines. Okay, so then you'll know where to cut, and all you're gonna do is cut this on top, and that's it. And that's what you're going to use for to make your pencil and pen holder. So I hope I made it clear for you guys, so I won't confuse you. I put front, and this is the back. And the same thing goes with the back, how you want the back to look. But my main focus was the front, okay? What I wanted on the front. The flap, and this is the pencil holder. Okay, so that's how I did my decoupaging, so I could get the image that I wanted to show in the front of my booklet. Okay, that's how I did it. And like again, the first score line, you take a regular 8.5 by 11, and you're going to score like this. Okay, vertical. You're going to score so you can make your booklet at 6.5. That's the height of the booklet. After you do that first initial score line, then you're going to score, turn your page this way, and you're going to score at 4.25, because that's the width of the front. And then the back, oh yeah, and then the gusset, an additional 1/8 of an inch, so that'll be 4 3/8. And then the next score, which is this one, it's going to be 8 3/4, and then an additional 1/8, so that'll be the next score line at 8 7/8. Okay, that's if you want to plan on getting the image you want of your booklet. And then after the decoupaging, then I suggest, if you're gonna use it like I am in the in my purse, use Liquitex or any kind of a sealer. I happen to have Liquitex and I really like it. It says a matte varnish. It does give it a little bit of a little bit of a shine, but you know, it's okay. It's not too bad. So anyways, I hope I've explained myself, and then you can decorate it however your heart contents. Okay, hope I explained myself. And oh yeah, use permanent ink. Well, if you want to use the vintage photo, the distress ink from Tim Holtz, you can. Just keep in mind that when you're applying your sealer, because it's water activated, it's going to, it might even give it a nice effect. You know, it's going to spread around on your image. It might even give it, what I did is I use the cosmetic brush, and I added the Ranger permanent ink, and I use the coffee on it. And then I sealed it. Okay, and then and when you're going to score these follow the lines. Sorry, good. This is a good thing. After you decoupage and you seal it, make sure when you're scoring it and you put them back on and you score these, you're gonna have to score these lines again. Score them really, really well, okay? Because then you might have a hard time folding it because you're gonna have the multi layers of paper, you know, decoupage. Okay, I almost forgot that tip. So make sure you score it really well. Not to the point where you cut it, but I mean really, really well to score it. Okay, and I think that's about it. Okay, guys. Oh, I didn't know if I was recording now. Hi, I forgot one part, guys, before I already said my goodbyes. But anyways, the part for the pen or the pencil, okay, you can make it whatever length you want. But I forgot to give you the measurements. It's 2 inches by 5.5. And then what you can do is I went ahead and bent in a little bit, give it a little bit of an arch of fibers, okay, so that you kind of break in the fibers and make it a little bit more flexible. And also when you glue it, don't glue just a little thin bead of glue, you know, maybe like a quarter. I suggest to do like a quarter of an inch or so of glue, okay, and then place wherever you want to have your pencil holder to be at. Okay, so but don't rush into trying to put your pen right away. Let me give you exact measurements on this one to make sure. Oh no, it's not 2 inches, it's 1 3/4 by 5.5. So it's 1 3/4 by 5.5 piece that you're gonna end up with. Okay, that's it. I just forgot to tell you that. Okay, all right guys, take care again. God bless.